Hey everyone, welcome back to Film Ranks. Today I want to talk about Halo, and I want to talk about what made Halo so good, from Halo Combat Evolved to Halo Reach. That's the extent of the games I want to talk about, because I think up until Halo Reach, that's when we saw a huge change with 343 and Halo 4 to Halo Infinite. And I will give a little bit of credit to Halo Infinite, mostly for the online gameplay. That's something where, I think it's been a major breakthrough with certain modes, and obviously like weapon modification, which was a much needed thing for Halo. But other than that, like, campaign wise, like, it's still not where it needs to be. So um I'm gonna get into I'm gonna get into four things that Halo has done correctly, and I'll talk a little bit more about what it hasn't done right. So, what it hasn't done right is gonna be pretty obvious by many of the gamers in the community, but I'm gonna talk about what the game has been doing correctly that everyone can agree on, for the most part, that Halo has achieved. So for one, and this is like probably like the biggest thing that's gonna affect even was like the campaign and stuff, is that from all the way from the first Halo to Halo Reach, you know, this is going to be a bit more twisty with Halo Reach, but for the most part, there hasn't been any major changes to like the Covenant, you know, general hostile enemies. Like, it's mostly been the Covenant. And I think that that's what most people associate with, like, China. Um, that's what most people associate was like the main antagonist of like UNSC, the military that all the Spartans and Master Chief is in, and all of that. Like, it's just that the Covenant is the main antagonist of the game. Now, it's not that it's so terrible that the Forerunners are a new concept that has been brought in, but I do believe that it was unnecessary, or for a lack of I just think that for the most part, the Halo games have been really good, just focusing on the Covenant. You guys can let me know in the comments if the Foreigners were a good addition to Halo, but for the most part, I don't think that they were brought up in a way where it was interesting for people to have to deal with that sort of enemy. You know, even with the Flood, those are characters in the game that I absolutely hate dealing with because they're just annoying to kill. So, whenever I'm fighting like the Covenant, it's a lot more engaging than having to kill the Flood. Um, I don't know why, but that's just my opinion on it. I think with the Foreigners, it's just annoying because they have this annoying armor where like your bullets feel like they're not doing any damage until their weak spots show. So I just think that when you make a game where most of the weapons are ineffective to other enemies except their own guns that you don't really care about, that's when it kind of sucks, or really sucks for that matter, because you might really like the assault rifle that Master Chief uses, or the battle rifles, just any rifle other than Forerunner weapons. Like, if you like mostly the UNSC weapons, then it's gonna suck when you have to use other weapons to be able to effectively destroy other enemies. So I think that's one thing for sure that I could say about the Foreigners that I didn't like. It's just like the way you had to take them down is really annoying. So, that's my opinion, but I'm sure a lot of people can agree that they're just a lot more annoying to kill because it's very specific the way you do it. It's not that it's impossible, it's just annoying. So, other than that, I would say that, you know, through the first three Master Chief games, like from the first Halo to the third, we have Cortana. She is non-hostile. She works for the UNSC, and she's like a partner to Chief. like a partner in crime sort of thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you know, the fact that they couldn't really undo that mess in Halo Infinite is a real bummer, because they're essentially trying to make Cortana non-existent and bring another AI. So I'm honestly not all for that. I think that they should have just never um, pushed a red button on it, but they did. So it is what it is now. I can't say that Cortana is my favorite character in the game that they need to redeem like that, but it makes it very awkward for the story. And I'm sure a lot of people can agree that even though she's not as important as the chief is to people, she still brought a lot of value to Chief's life and helping the UNSC accomplish their missions. So I would say it's a big, big mistake that 343 made, um, making her exit out as the enemy, because nobody would have ever wanted that. Honestly, like if anyone were to become hostile again, even the Arbiter makes more sense, but not Cortana. So that's just something that was nonsensical, wasn't really thought out well, because even the way she tries to describe herself, trying to create an alliance as a foreigners and to harvest the power of like the rings that destroy planets, it's like that's that's not good. She fell far from the tree that was good to her and became part of the very destructive forces that she was meant to destroy with Chief. Um, so yeah, that was very unfortunate, and nobody would have wanted to see that. And I've been on this point for very long, so I'm gonna get to the next thing: armor mods. And I think armor modification, honestly, like it's been good. It's gotten so much better over the games, so I would say that's something that Halo obviously have been really good with. My only addition to this note is that I feel like they should make armor mods where it gives you like special abilities to either have more health or um, just just anything, right? Like stronger attacks, uh, anything like that that makes the game more fun. Obviously, people are gonna like that and have more fun with it. So I just think that the armor mod should have something more special for your character to be able to do, which would make more sense because this is a futuristic game where almost anything is possible. So was that, I would say that the next thing that made Halo as legendary as it was back then was the game modes, because even if we're not focusing on like customizing your characters, really the modes that bring people together, like playing King of the Hill and the sandbox modes, they're extremely fun. The team battles, the large team battles, they're extremely fun. Like especially if you're not like the biggest Halo fan, like you will have a lot of fun playing online. And I'd say for about almost every game, they're extremely fun. I think I've excluded Halo Wars from this because it's not exactly the same as the other games, but I would say that for campaign purposes, like the missions and like directing like the soldiers in battle, like that's still really fun. So I don't really discount Halo Wars that much. I don't discount Halo Wars as much, but um, I enjoy playing the other games a lot more. Just being honest, like I like being able to play as a Spartan and just go directly into battle. ODST was another good game. I like that it was different. It took a different approach. It may not be everyone's favorite, but I really liked it, and I think that's the masterful way of like doing uh subcategory stories for Halo, like with ODST and all that. Like if they do it more like the way they did it years ago, many years ago, then I think they would still have a bigger following than what it's like now. I mean, it's not the worst Halo has ever been in, but it's still really bad. I'm sure Halo, like people who love Halo, has pretty much set their eyes on different things in the gaming community. So I don't hate Halo. I just think that it's still like in a place where it's really hard to get out of because you can't undo a lot of the stuff that they did, and it's just better to play it online, in my opinion. That's my opinion, though. You know, you don't have to take all my words as your absolute truth, but my opinion on Halo right now is that it used to be a lot better when they were focusing more on the Covenant. The Forerunners weren't involved as much, and you know, even with the weapons, I feel like the UNSC weapons could have been a lot more like, there could have been more assault rifles, there could have been more battle rifles, there could have been different styled weapons in the same categories, but I feel like we've gotten the same assault rifle in every game with different modifications, like slightly different. And it's not that I hate it that much, but I think that we could have other auto weapons in that category as well. Like the way Call of Duty has a bunch of different weapons that you can use, that's the way that Halo should have been. So it's not like the first games are perfect, but it's still better because whether you're playing the campaign or you're playing online or any of the game modes, like it's it has better cadence. So it just feels like you're getting a pretty great deal for what you're playing, and it's not something where it's like only the online is good. You know, like people just buy online games without even playing the campaign, and you know, you're not really getting the full experience because again, you're just getting a whole entire game just for one game mode. You can buy just the online parts of a game without having to buy the whole entire game. But if you do decide to buy a game to like pay for it entirely, you know, that's your choice. If you don't want to play the campaign, like no one's forcing you to, but it's kind of a waste of money because you're playing a third of the entire game that exists and what you download. So that's just my opinion, but hopefully it's a popular one because I would hope that people to play the entirety of what's included in a game to get their money's worth. Like that would be my hope, but obviously like everyone's different, and that's fine. My favorite Halo games are gonna be the first three always. Aside from Halo Reach, I think Halo Reach was very good at adding these fun tools that you can, like these fun things you can do with your armor, was like creating an invincible shield, a jetpack, and sprinting. And honestly, sprinting was a thing that should have always been in Halo. Like that's why I think that Halo wasn't perfect even in the first three games. I think if anything, Halo Reach has been the absolute prototype of what a perfect Halo game needs to be like, because there was a lot of fun things you can do in Halo Reach that the other Halo games didn't do. So I just think that, like, obviously being able to sprint in a game, it's pretty much like a no-brainer. Like when you can't sprint in a game, it's kind of annoying because some people just want to speed run, and you should be able to do that. I don't know why it took a long time for Halo to add sprinting, because obviously like you're a Spartan that's carrying 1,000 pound of armor, which already doesn't even make sense because nobody would be able to be with, nobody would stand that weight anyways, so why not just make the character run, like, you know? So that's that's just a bonus critique that I wanted to add about Halo. You know, these games, obviously they're a lot of fun even if you play the fourth and the fifth one, but the fourth and fifth Halo games with Master Chief are the best examples of how things went from bad to worse. And even in Halo Infinite, they still haven't fully redeemed themselves because they basically replaced Cortana, and we don't even know what happened to Blue Team. You know, it just seems like they try to go the safe route. Obviously, they try to make Halo fun like it used to be, and it just seems like, again, that whatever was done before was like, for the most part, was the story and the plot points, you can't undo that. So it's gonna be really hard again to win the fans over. They already know what happens. That's all I have for this video. Thank you for sticking by and watching this, and I'll make more videos in the future and find more content to talk about. So if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you found it informative, and know people who enjoy watching Halo content. There's a lot of content on this channel, so from movies, TV, gaming, those sort of things, that's gonna be in this channel. So yeah, I know it's called Film Ranks, but obviously I want to be able to have more of a range. So without having to do too many more channels, like I rather cover all the content on this channel. And check out my podcast, Coffee Mug Podcast.